This is the 5 Point Play Podcast, the Die Hard Duke Basketball Fans Podcast, and we're all we got left. We're all we got left. Obviously, Duke doesn't get the job done, and they lose 70 to 67 to Houston, and they're wonderful fans. Jack was there. We're going to get to Jack in just a second. Obviously, this is kind of the reality of sports, and more specifically, the tournament, is that it is cruel as much as it is rewarding. And when you have such a special team like this, and you don't get the job done, that pain will never leave you. It is the same as, for us old enough, 99, 2004, 2011 in a
90,
way, yeah, 94, 86,
I've been told this
uh,
compares heavily to 86.
2019. I don't even count 2022 that much, because I don't think that team was deserving of winning. And they were there, but I don't think it was like that elite level team. But this team is definitely in the conversation of probably 99, 86, and yeah, that's it. Like, of teams that didn't win it, and so it's difficult. It sucks. There's no way to say it other than it's heartbreaking as a fan. But no matter how you're feeling as a fan, it doesn't even come close to how the team and the program feels. It's got to be the worst, and that sucks. But on another level, when you lose a game, when you're Duke and you're having to fight off all the trolls, whether that's on social media, other podcasts, people on news networks, other fans in the stadium, Jack, like whoever it is, it doesn't matter because when other teams lose, no one fucking cares. No one cares. It's only when Duke loses. And when you're at the peak, when you are the standard, that's why. That's why we are the standard. Because Carolina fans who their team is in shambles. Their program's in shambles. Ian Jackson just left. Like they got absolutely nothing. They want to list 35, 5 stars and saying that Duke hasn't gotten to the title game. The goalpost always moves. The goalpost always moves. And you wonder why UConn fans when they went back to that championships, they're coming on Duke podcast, Duke Spaces, and they're talking shit about Duke after they win. When we win, we win. When we lose, we lose. But for other teams, they'd rather see Duke lose than their own team win. And again, that is why we are the standard. If you're sick and tired of hearing that Duke is the standard, if you're sick and tired of hearing us on every single show on the radio, on ESPN, and every other sports talk show anywhere, then when we lose or when you beat us, stop talking about us. After you beat us in the Final Four, the first four things out of your mouth, all Duke, 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 Duke. And that's what it is. And that might sound like sour grapes, but it's not me doing it. I have a Duke podcast. That's what we do. We talk Duke. We don't talk about anybody else. Because quite frankly, I don't care about anybody else. And that's how the majority of Duke fans are across the spectrum, is that we care about Duke. We are more concerned with Duke winning and what our program is doing. The dark money, $22 million, like, who gives a shit? I'm glad
Can
that
I can I
hold on,
take
hold
a
on. I'm
time out
not.
here,
I'm
TK?
not. I'm
Okay,
not
okay.
finished yet. That I don't care about the Duke dark money spending $22 million. I'm glad that my program invests in the product that they're putting out there, and I'm guaranteeing you that they got more money in revenue back from that $22 million investment than they. And sure, could they have gotten more? Absolutely, we would have won it all. But no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I don't care. Every other program is spending oodles of money. It is what it is. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of this team, and I'm proud of this program. And we'll be back. We always are. And does this suck? You're goddamn right it sucks. It fucking sucks. But it doesn't mean that this program's going anywhere. All the people talking shit about John Shire, you're going to eat that. You're going to eat that crow soon enough. You will. Did he have a bad last 10 minutes? Sure he did. We're going to break it all down. We got the full crew tonight. That's why we waited a few days, because we wanted Jack to get back from San Antonio. We wanted to make sure everybody was here. Coach P, he's getting the beard ready because he's got a lot to say. But Jack, I told you go first, and let him have it.
First thing I want to say is that 22 million was a made-up figure. It's never mentioned in that article. It's never mentioned anywhere, and it's also not correct.
That's what the ACC said they had to share revenue with, by the way.
it's I don't
Oh, go ahead.
care. I genuinely like it's not the amount that Duke spent. That's the first thing I want to say. Like that's a number that people are throwing out there. Yeah, the players may have made 22 million, but 22 million didn't come out of Duke's pockets. Also, that article, if you haven't read it, very interesting read. So give it a look. It shows that these are people that just want to trust John. They'll fund it, but they're not gonna have any say in it. They just want John to cook. I like that a lot. I think that's how more programs should be.
Hmm.
Now let's talk
I,
about my experience this weekend in San Antonio.
I
So
thought that article was more for next year, but go ahead.
it is more for next year, but it's still very interesting. Anyway, let's talk about my experience in San Antonio. So first off, Saturday was really cool. The whole day, a lot of fun. Um, First game was amazing. The Florida coming back from down double digits to Auburn, winning by a couple of possessions, and uh, and then Duke was winning most of the game. And like I'm being a fan. I'm screaming. I'm supporting my team. I'm not doing like bashing any. I'm surrounded by Houston people, mind you. I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not a fan who does that. Like if a player makes a good play, I'll concede that was a good play. It's a tough shot. When when Houston took the lead in the last 30 seconds, oh, I started to hear it from people after the game was over. I got a couple of people giving me like double bird. There was a guy out in the hallway, like on the concourse, screaming, "Hey, thanks for coming to San Antonio, Duke fans. Now go drink your sorrows away on our lovely bar scene. It's Cougs country here." Like just like getting in people's faces saying that. I had multiple people get in my face screaming stuff. Like the only fan base that I've experienced being like that in my life, both on social media and in person, is Maryland fans.
Maryland.
And everyone knows Maryland fans are the trashiest of the trash. And Houston fans were like that. And that's just they were doing the same stuff to us when we went to the game on Monday. Wearing our Duke gear because we are going to support our team no matter what. And we wanted to see a basketball game. We paid to go. So there are fans, like there are some Houston fans around us that are clearly just like, oh, they're able to get tickets and they're in the area. They don't know anything about basketball. I had someone behind me say, "Oh, how many fouls is it to foul out in college?" This person was at the national championship game. And the person next to them said 6.
Should be.
Should be, but isn't. Different conversation. But then when Florida took the lead at the end of that game, and they just like felt the same way we did on Saturday, and that just made me feel really like a taste of their own medicine. I didn't say anything. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to be rude to someone because their team just lost because I know exactly how that feels and I've been on the other end of it. And I don't think anyone deserves that. I also want to talk about how on Saturday Duke blew a 14-point lead, and part of that was a late game blown call that directly led to a Houston 3. No one said anything about that. Like people showed the clip and oh, it's a bad call. It led to the free throws and then a 3, I think, right after that. I might be mistaken. I don't care if I'm mistaken or not. It directly led to Houston points. On Monday night, last night, there was a missed goaltending, which I've seen the clip. It was a bad no call. It should have been a goaltend. It directly led to a Florida 3. People are saying Houston got hosed. Houston also blew, I think they blew a 12-point lead, not a 14-point lead, but that's neither here nor there. They blew a double-digit lead. It came down to there was one call that was a 4 to 5-point swing. And people are saying they got hosed, and people are saying Duke choked. And that's another thing. It's the Duke standard. Like you said, TK, I don't like it's the same thing. It is the exact same thing. Also, all 3 games were like that. The team in white had a double-digit lead, and then it got chipped and chipped and chipped away by the team that was wearing the colored jersey. And then in the last 2 minutes, it got taken away, and the team that was not wearing white won by 1 or 2 possessions. And that was all 3 games, which as a neutral fan would have been insane. As a Duke fan, one of those games sucked. one of those games made me feel like it should have been us up there, and one of those games was really fun. But yeah, that was my experience in San Antonio. Oh, Duke, I don't care. We lost. I'm still gonna say go Duke. I'm still a proud Duke fan. This team made the Final Four. This is one of the three best Duke teams in history, in my opinion, and I think two of those three teams haven't won a title. So
Yeah, I mean it's tough, and AC, kind of going back to the beginning of my rant, just talking about, sports, and then this tournament in particular, it can come down to a missed free throw, not getting the ball in. It can come down to not getting a couple of more offensive rebounds, maybe just one. It can come down to a call here or there, maybe a call on a timeout. It's so razor thin sometimes, and that's just the fragility of the tournament. And Duke makes one more play, they win the game. They hit one more free throw, they win the game. They get one more call, they win the game. And that's why it sucks even more, because you're the better team. But that's sports and that's life, and sometimes shit happens, and it is what it is. But I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons, and I don't get mad when anybody uses this phrase. I just personally can't use it because I know I'm just setting myself up for failure. But the championship or bust thing, like I understand that. I understand the logic behind it, and I understand why we would say it as a fan base, especially with this team in particular. Because championship or bust, I think that's more of a fan thing, right? Because that just means you have that much confidence in your team and what they should be able to do, that this is where you feel, which again, I have no problem with that. But it's just a setup because this is the NCAA tournament, and a one and done tournament, literally anything can happen. And we heard it all week, yet Duke, although we heard all week that this is the greatest Final Four of all time, the all the metrics and everything back up this being the greatest four teams in a Final Four ever assembled. Every analyst said that any team can win this thing. It doesn't matter. Anything can happen. Well, guess what? Anything happens, and the Duke standard hits again because it's embarrassing. John should be fired. All these other things that people are saying. The program needs to change. Stop getting one and dones. We're in the position we're in because of one and dones. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Anybody telling Duke to stop doing something is because you want to see Duke fail. So let's not listen to me. Let's not listen to those dummies.
Somebody saw the My Jones post.
I sure did, and it was a joke.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But it's not just him though, right? Like Duke fans have been saying it. People have been saying it for over a decade. Been saying it since we got Kyrie. We can't do the one and done model. We've only won one time with one and done. You know how small that sample size is from the time we've been winning titles? Y'all gotta stop, man. Like it's so hard to like. Everybody acts like it's just easy to win a championship. Ask Houston how easy it is to win a championship, because they don't fucking know either. All right, like it's difficult, man. Like it's very difficult. Like Duke is one of the best teams in history in terms of winning a title, and that's 119 seasons now we have under our belt, and we've only won 5. That's 4%, y'all. Like that's terrible in any other metric. Like that's awful, right? Like that's horrible. 4% of the time we've only won a title. Like, do you know how stupid that is to say that, and how dumb you sound when you say things like that? Chill. Like I'm not here to police people on being a fan. You got to act how you want to act. I would just look. Duke fans all season have been like more connected than they've ever been, and I think that's kind of like indicative of the team, right? So I would just suggest that as a fan base, we kind of chill, kind of just work with each other, like ignore the rest of those other fan bases going for us all summer, man. Every time somebody gets announced that they're coming to Duke, you're going to hear somebody say, they're wasting their time because they can't win a title there. Well, guess what? They can't win a title at your funky ass team either. Like, they ain't going to win a title there either. You know what I'm saying? Like, some other Duke news is going to pop up and they go, wasted money. Well, guess what? Your funky ass school ain't making money either. Like, stop. Like, just chill. Like, I ain't worried about y'all, man. So, I'm here for the Duke fam. We're here for y'all all summer, whatever we're going to do content-wise and all that. But I ain't worried about no other fan bases, man. And there's no reason to, because they're all going to say the same dumb stuff, and it's not even worth a discussion.
Yeah, AC, it's the same, stuff that we kind of got into this podcast to begin with. It's kind of debunking the self-fulfilling prophecies, the blanket statements, the narratives that, if you break it down for 5 seconds, it's so easy to poke every single hole in each one of those narratives. And sometimes it's just not even worth my time. But luckily for this podcast, we will have an encore edition, and I will break down every single blanket statement. But kind of getting back to this team, I think AC made a great point that, the fan base kind of reflected what this team was. And, you and I have obviously talked a lot about the team the season prior, not being that way. And there's reasons for it, but this team really brought the fan base together. And it's a reflection on how great of a team we got to witness for the last, 6 months.
It was the best team I've seen in 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, something like that. I do agree partly with AC about how hard this tournament is to win. But I also think that not only Duke fans were greedy, but I think that locker room was greedy. I think they wanted it all. I think they wanted the ACC championship. I think they wanted the National Player of the Year. I think they wanted the Defensive Player of the Year, so on and so forth, a Final Four, and ultimately a national championship. And I think if you got a chance to sit down and talk with each one of those players who wore a jersey that night individually, one-on-one, they would say, yeah, this was we fucked up. Excuse my language, but we slipped. Our ultimate goal was to hang a banner, and anything else. Kind of like Mason Gillis said, he's like, I'm not celebrating shit. We haven't won a championship yet, and I truly think that that's how this team operated. And I'm not going to speak for any other Duke fan. Like AC said, yeah, y'all be a fan of how you want to be a fan, whatever, blase. But this one hurt more. This is going to sound crazy, but I kind of feel like this one hurt more than the UNC loss in the Final Four, because this team was so much better than every other team in the country, including probably like 6 NBA teams. Like, it just, and watching that lead just dissipate. Absolutely. I'm man enough to sit up here on this podcast and say I cried tears, bro. I cried. I was that upset. I was that heartbroken because I wanted it so bad, not just for me selfishly, but for guys like Tyrese and Common, who had to go through some crazy, I'm not even going to get into that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like Sion James, a Mason Gillis, of dudes who stuck it out through college and went through the ringer, and this was their chance. Like we're gonna have a great squad next year. I trust John Shire to the fullest. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but this one hurts, man. This was the first championship game I didn't watch, and I can't tell you how long, man. Like I just didn't. I didn't even turn the radio. I've been riding around with the radio off. It just but we'll like you said, TK, we'll be back. But yeah, this one hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one hurts.
Yeah, I think you speak for a lot of us in those sentiments. I didn't watch a single second of that game last night. Have absolutely. I mean, I looked on my phone this morning just to see
Didn't
what
give a
the.
shit.
I don't care. I looked at my phone. It was the notification. Cool, whatever. Don't care. It doesn't do anything for me that
Thank God it's over.
Houston lost or 4-1. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Coach P, just talk us through. You heard everybody talk. You heard everybody give their rant. Now I want to hear the Coach P rant.
It's funny. I ain't really got like a rant like that, man. Like disappointed, yeah. I move on for things pretty quick, so I mean, I moved on pretty quick. I was super duper disappointed. I do know that it, like I was saying earlier, like it affected me like the next day and shit. I didn't expect it to, because I always felt like I moved on fast, but it did fuck my whole day up. You know what I'm saying? Where I was kind of like, just like, damn. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me right now? And I was like, okay, yeah, my team lost. Okay, I get it. But I think for me, like the biggest disappointment, man, is that, you know what I mean, not only because we expect to win every year, we expect to win a chip every year, but like this was the team to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think the way that we lost was just bad. But you know what I mean? You just all pause, you know what I'm saying? It was so close, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, you could taste it, pause. You know what I'm saying? So it was like You know, yeah, that was wild. That was wild. But I'm saying though, but you feel me though, right? Like we was right there. We were right there. We were right there. You know what I'm saying? And to me, like I was talking to AC before everybody got on, and it's like, bro, like it was clear who the better basketball. It was very, very clear who the better basketball team was. Like it was no debating. You can't even debate it. But that is the reason why you play 40 minutes and not 37, or you play 40 minutes and not 38. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we just got caught with our pants down, bro. And like Houston took full advantage of it, bro. I think we made some mistakes. Obviously, we made some mistakes. That's fucking common sense. But I don't know, man. I just want to destroy everybody next year. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, well, I'm not hoping. I know that John's going to build a roster to do that. And, you know, we're just going to do what we do. We're going to continue to be Duke. But I also found that for me, because I mean, I'm not even, bro, my phone, when Duke lost,
I turned it off.
you know, that's when the motherfucking haters come out. Bro,
I turned it off.
when I tell
Oh,
you
yeah.
my phone was on fire, boy. That phone didn't stop ringing for about 4 hours, bro. I'm
That
talking about
shit went
phone
off
calls,
immediately.
text messages, tweets, Discord, everything, bro. I heard all the jokes and shit. But the funny part is, though, is that like everybody who had them jokes and shit, the program that they cheer for, they wish their program was Duke. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they say, no matter what they do over there, or whatever the case may be. And I think the biggest I ain't even gonna talk about the fan bases. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. But like it's
I
too
wish they had the
big,
chance
man.
to blow a 14-point lead in the Final Four.
Yeah, I just it's just crazy, man. I just you know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's just wild because I'm like, if your team has been sitting home for 2 weeks, how do you even have the fucking nerve to say anything, bro? Like I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like you think, oh, I'm trolling. You're not really trolling because I'm not fucking even responding to you. You know what I'm saying? Not even
Yeah, so
responding to you. And I found that that's the best way to handle these guys, just not respond. You know, I responded to some people and shit because some people in real life, I really just want to beat you the fuck up. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So,
no
you know what I'm
game.
saying? I'll let that slide. But you know, at the end of you feel me though, D, you feel me, you know what I'm
I
saying?
already know, but bro,
Some people just
you
be
hey,
taking it too far, bro. I'm
you
just
got
like,
my
bro,
number.
It's true. It's the truth.
like chill out, bro. Like it's not that serious, bro. Like, okay, like it's a game, we got it. You know what I'm saying? Like our team lost, we got it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all been home for fucking you didn't even make the tournament. You know what I'm saying? And like, or you've been home for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You made it only but so far, and you know what I'm saying? And the same result, we both got beat. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, bro, like I am more than proud of these guys. You know what I'm saying? For all the shit that they had to deal with. And just, you know what I'm saying? Just even throw everything away, bro. Just putting that Duke, just wearing that Duke across your chest and what that shit comes with alone, bro. Like the hate and you know what I'm saying? And just everything else, bro. Just for them to handle that, bro, like it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I really salute them. They had a good season, bro. I'm very, very proud to be a Duke fan. And I mean, a loss, it's not gonna stop us from being Duke fans. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only gonna make the allegiance stronger. So you know, I can say what they say, and so I want to see what they say when this roster, you know what I'm saying, situation for you know what I'm saying folds all the way out. We're gonna see what they say then. You know what I mean? You're gonna have another team that nobody wants to face. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna see. So it is what it is. Fuck them.
For a guy that said he wasn't going to go on a rant, that might have been the best one. Yeah, I mean, look, just to kind of put a bow on this thing. Yeah, obviously it sucks, but like, you know, it's sports, man. You're not always going to get your way, and you know, you know, I do want to get into the last 10 minutes. It's really the last 8.5 minutes, but you know, there's a 6 point swing in there. You know, something that doesn't happen there, we win the game. There's the one possession where they got 3 offensive rebounds. Even when Khan drives to the rack, argue, got pushed, whatever, they go down, they score. Sion doesn't get the ball in, they get the ball, he misses the 3, but there's a putback. Just you box out, you get the rebound, we win. Obviously,
Gillis technical foul.
the Gillis technical foul. I mean, that was part of the 6 point play. You
It was
know,
a ticky tack
point,
call.
the 6 point swing. But even so, let's call it for what it is. If that call's legit, whatever. You still have an opportunity to stop them on defense. You don't. And then you have a couple other, obviously the Cooper Flag one is the one everybody got upset about. You know, Tyrese makes that free throw. We're having a different conversation. So there's so many little things when you lose that close that if just one more executed play, one more box up, don't turn the ball over underneath your own basket, like whatever, throw it away the court, like whatever you got to do. If one of those things don't happen, we're singing a different tune. So, AC, I kind of want to talk about those last 10 minutes one last time, and then, we'll move on to kind of some superlatives and other things, because this year was special. I don't care what anybody says. We didn't get the final trophy, but it was still a special year.
Well, I'm glad you said that about this year being special at the end of what you just said, because the last 10 minutes signified, I would say, at least 2 out of the other 3 losses we had during the season, which was John not fully trusting himself and fully trusting his team. Like the things that we did to get there the entire season, we didn't do against Houston. And before anybody wants to stop me and say Houston's defense or whatever, I'm not talking about y'all. I know somebody listening to this saying automatic Houston's defense. Like they were not that good, bro. Like we should have had 80 points, quite honestly, at least. And you would have been saying something totally different about Houston's defense at the end of the day. We didn't trust John didn't trust his intuition and his guys the way he had all season. Maybe the guys didn't trust themselves in a lot of cases. I think Stian inbounding the ball did not trust himself, did not trust that his guys were open. There were there's a lot of trust things happen. And if you want to use the excuse that we didn't play anybody all year and that's why this happened, be my guest. But at the D1 level, I don't care who you played. I don't care who you've played at the D1 level. You should be able to throw the ball in 3 feet from the inbounds line. I don't care who you are. That's just my opinion on that. But that
never came down
again,
to that.
Those individual plays aren't the things that lost the game, right? It's little things from here. Fun betting note: if you're ever watching a game in the second half and they put up the stat such and such team has not scored in such and such minutes, then go ahead and put all the money you have in your bank account on the other team, because they're gonna come back and win it every single time. Like that's the stat that they love to throw on the screen, and that signifies that's the start of the end. When you start seeing that shit, that always happens. But in this game in particular, and against a team that can hit the 3 the way Houston can hit the 3, that spelled doom. Like you continue to let them back in the game, A, with free throws, so points with no clock on, and B, 3-point shots, which 3 is obviously greater than 2. We can do the math. It's not like Duke had a bad night at the line. It's not like Duke had a bad night from 3. It's that we didn't make some of those championship level plays here and there that you need to make to close out games like this. What ended up being a close game, which wasn't a close game before. And I think that we were kind of in, this is not a close game mode, and we weren't in on our grind mode in a lot of cases.
Did you feel the same way there? To piggyback off of AC's last point, I don't know that we got. Maybe this is not what you're saying, AC. That we got too comfortable toward the end with the lead. I almost felt like
I'm not saying we got too comfortable. I'm saying that let's call it spade. We got comfortable in a way of you didn't have the Lance Thomas diving on the ground, pulling the ball away from people type of play. You didn't have the Grayson Allen falling out of bounds type of, because those are plays you make when you are desperate and your back is against the wall. We did not play like a team with our back against the wall, because we are up, like just 2 seconds ago, we were up 14.
Right.
So we weren't playing like we had our back against the wall. So that's where I'm saying that if you want to make the argument that we hadn't played a close game all season, okay, maybe that was a bad habit that this team might have had, but I still don't buy it, because this is a D1 level basketball team and they can look at the scoreboard and see what the fucking score is. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, B, what's your reaction on
that? I mean, just watching the last 4 minutes is just, I'll never be able to do it again, quite frankly. But I mean, you always hear me talk about free throws matter, and just to start this statement, I feel for Proctor so bad, man. Like, you got to imagine how bad he feels for missing the front end of that 1-and-1 that led to the breakout, that led to the and one dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to feel for the kid.
I didn't realize he was a 68% free throw shooter this year.
I don't.
I didn't either.
That number could not be real. I don't think that number was
I missed that, because he's been 90% his whole career.
Yeah, there's no way that number is real. I agree with you. I was like 68%. That's a typo. I agree with you. But
That's what I thought. I thought somebody was dyslexic. They meant to say 86 is what I thought. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
dead ass. Don't that I 100% agree because I told people like I had a handful of people over at the house watching. We made some food or whatever, and I was like, that's not true. He is not a 68% free throw shooter. That is a
but
false
sure
statement.
enough, it is. Like, like it is, but it's not. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
he made two in a row, and then he missed the front end of a 1-and-1 that led to
Yeah.
so. But my point is, I feel for the kid. He was like ready to jump,
Mhm.
so to speak. I don't know, and it's not just Duke. If anybody's ever watched college basketball this season, there's been so many scenarios. Like UNC won against, I think it was Boston College, Virginia Tech, somebody like that, where they just couldn't, Florida State maybe, where they just couldn't get the ball inbound. Like they could not inbound the ball, and we saw that happen to Duke. Houston had a great shooting night. I went through I went through Houston stats after the game the next day to see what they shot 3-point wise. They've never shot that well all season. They haven't scored that many points all damn season, but like 3 times. But they've never shot that well from 3. So, it was kind of like the perfect storm. Like I said, it hurts. I'm not going to sit here and say, Duke should have won. I'm not going to blame the refs. I'm not going to blame free throws. It's a 40-minute game. There was plenty of opportunities to put your foot on the throat and run away with it, and you just didn't. I don't know if it's the refs not telling people they can run the floor. Like I truthfully don't know, but I'm not going to blame anybody. Duke should have won, and it should not have come down to any sort of free throw, 3-point inbound situation. Like that's my point. So it's just hard. It was just hard to watch, man. It was just really, really hard to watch.
Yeah, Jack, I agree with that statement there. That the thing I was calling it the entire next day was a perfect storm of shit.
It was.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong in that last. Really, it was the last 8.5 minutes, but really that last 2 is after Cooper hit that 3 to put us up 9. That's really when it all fell apart. And it was like a slow burn, and it's like you can watch it in real time. You can't believe what you're watching. Like that's what it felt like. Like you just wanted to jump through the screen to be like stop this or call a timeout or do this, but there was no stopping it. Once the bad mojo got going, it just was a perfect storm of shit.
It really was, TK. It was everything that could possibly go wrong. Like, look at the probability of all these things happening, of the turnovers, of the missed shots, of these calls being made the way they were. Every single one of these things, it's like we're looking at something that, like, if you do it again, one of those things happens differently, Duke wins the game. It's how it is. That's basketball. That's life, honestly. I think I don't know, man. I think the toughest part is watching the game, being there. Duke definitely went into a stall tactic. They weren't doing anything until there was like 12 seconds on the shot clock, and that so favors Houston's pace and Houston's game. It's not what they were doing for the first 30 minutes, and they started doing it around the 10-minute mark. And the phrase I used on the way back to the hotel from the game was Duke played the last segment of that game. They didn't play to win, they played not to lose. And
Playing prevent
when you
defense,
play
basically.
to not lose, yeah. And when you play not to lose instead of playing to win, you get burnt. Prevent defense leaves so much open in football. It's the same type of thing. You get cooked, and if your last line isn't there to stop it, you're screwed. And that's basically what it was. Houston feasts when you go and play their game. And John and the whole team, I'm not blaming John, I'm not blaming anyone. This is a team loss. But the team went into stalling. The stall tactic does not work against a team that loves to play at such a slow pace. You have to keep going. You have to put your foot on their throat. You have to get that lead. I think I said this on our last podcast. I don't feel safe against a team like that until the lead is 17. It never got there. I did say that, right?
Never-
I'm not
Mhm.
Who
crazy.
never put their foot on their throat. You're right.
That was
Jack.
on the
Like,
coach's
I
corner,
said
I
the
think.
same thing. I was like, this is the time. Like after Cooper hit that 3, I said, this is the time to put your foot on their fucking throat. Here's the time. Like this is our opportunity. And they never did it. They never did
I
it.
hope
I'm not blaming
this
anybody.
no, and it's not about blame, right? Like there's responsibility involved in all this though. Like there's a responsibility on the players to do what the coach
I felt
asks
like it
them
was
to
my
do.
fault because I wasn't wearing
There's
blue.
I know, right?
I thought it was AC's fault. for not
I
doing
wasn't
spaces.
right. I wasn't wearing the right shirt. I didn't do pregame spaces. It's all my
It
fault.
was my fault.
But
It was my fault.
exactly. But I do think, for the sake of John Shire, honestly, like, this loss is tearing him up. He's a competitor. He hates this. You saw him. He damn near was crying, talking to the crazies when they got back about just letting them down and all the other stuff. But I do hope that this builds, because every coach has a turning point in their career. It's awesome that hopefully our coach's turning point could be that we were in the Final Four, because that's not taking away anything from this team. We made it to a Final Four. Last year, we made it to the Elite Eight, and that sucked for some reason. Making it to an Elite Eight sucks all of a sudden. I don't know when that happened, but now we're in a Final Four, and now all of a sudden we're in a Final Four, and that sucks too. Like, nah, I'm not playing that game. But John, you know what I mean? Like, against a team like Houston, right? Like everything in the coach's manual, the big book of coaching that they give you when you sign on as a head coach. Everybody gets it. I have one back here. When you sign on as a head coach at any level, the big book of coaching says with 5 minutes left in the game, you're supposed to go install. Like you're supposed to shut the thing down and just get out of here with a win and let the clock run. I think in some scenarios works great. Dean Smith invented the four corners because of it. But in a scenario like this with Houston, you cannot, like Jack just said, like you said, D, like you said, TK, you cannot stall with Houston. You can't. And the one thing on offense that was working all night that we did have working was us getting downhill. So the fact that we did stop it, even though we did have a 14-point lead, like maybe, just maybe, this will give John the gumption to say, fuck the coach's manual. I see what's happening with this game. This is what Coach K always talks about, becoming one with the game. I see what's happening in this game right now. We're going to continue to play. Maybe that gives him the trust to be able to do that moving forward, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point, right? Like if we kept playing for the offense and we lost the game because of it, because we turned the ball over or whatever else, people would say, oh, why didn't John slow the game down? He slows the game down, and now everybody's saying, why did he slow the game down? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you lose. So just play. Like hopefully this becomes one of those things for him that becomes a stepping stone to just become one with that game, like Kay used to say, and just play.
Cut it, print it. That's it. That's it. That's the title for this episode. You nailed it. I'm not bullshitting. Like, yeah, just play. Do what you did that got you here all season. Don't slow up.
Yeah.
Don't play with the clock. Don't play for, like you said, Jack. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. Like, put your foot on these motherfuckers' throats, man. Like, just end this. Like, it just watching that lead disintegrate. I swear to God, dude, as somebody who grew up in Central North Carolina, TK, you're right here beside me. This one hurt more than the UNC loss. And I know that sounds crazy. To people out there who are not from here. But this one hurt more than the UNC loss. And it's just because it shouldn't have happened. Like, there was no reason for it. We literally just let our foot off the gas and coasted in neutral. And I just keep reliving like certain plays through my head, and it's
hurts,
crazy, man. It's I don't ask for a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want y'all to be healthy. I want y'all kids to be healthy. I want your families to be happy, and I want Duke to win. Like, I don't ask for a whole lot, man. I don't. I don't.
All right, Pops. I think a lot was said there, right? That I think, you have a lot of fans out there, pointing fingers at one or two players, or pointing the finger at John, where I think it's just a collection of crap that happened in the last, a couple minutes there. From your standpoint, like, what did you see? I'm sure you watched it again. Maybe you didn't watch this one again. I watched the last.
No, I watched it.
But what did you see?
So I might have a little different take or whatever. And I would definitely say that, me personally, this is just me, I definitely would put that on John. the game, because from my foxhole, what I saw a young leader that eyes were wide open who just made the wrong call. And I mean, you're not always going to be perfect, right? Because I think schematically there were some things that he did that I was like, why are you doing that? One was when they had trouble to inbound the ball, right? On the first try, do you see where those guys started at? They were like at half court, running to the baseline to get the ball. I'm like, why are we doing that? That don't make no sense. So this is a key difference, right? So I'm changing the subject just a little bit. Duke's defense, right, is elite because of what? We just shut everything off, right? Duke, if you notice, Duke defense, we don't generate a lot of steals and all that shit. We get a lot of deflections and shit like that. We get a lot of block shots. We just hold people. You just can't score on them, right? Because we're just too big, too strong, or whatever. A lot of elite guys out there. Houston, what do they want to do? They want to just fuck everything up. They want to get steals and they want to go. That's what they want to do. So we played right into their hands. If we're going to start our fucking inbounding at the half court, you have guys running to the fucking baseline. Those guards are smaller than our guys, first of all, right? So they're going to be quicker. They're moving quicker. They're cutting our guys off, right? Like we don't need to do all that, right? So I will put this on John. I think because the difference is this, man. Like, let me tell you something, right? 19-year-old Pablo in Iraq and Afghanistan, I saw the same thing in John. My eyes were wide open. I didn't know what to expect. Leadership-wise, I was a growing leader, right? Now, as 15 years in the Army, I'm still deploying. You couldn't tell me shit. If bullets going off, I'm just looking like, okay, cool. All right, shoot that motherfucker. We good. We gonna do what we do, right? John is just growing. That's all it is, bro. He's growing. We gonna be back there. I'm not worried about nothing. I think he definitely missed a spectacular opportunity to shut everybody up and say, okay, youngest coach in history, whatever the case may be. Because I think he's younger than Todd Golden, right?
I think so. And that was just his third year as a head coach. That was year number 3, by the way.
And that's the thing. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe.
it's just,
38 maybe.
I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like, yeah, you put the blame on John because, like I said, schematically, there was some things that I was like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have done that, but I don't want to armchair quarterback the shit too much, right? Because I'm not a fucking head coach at Duke, right? So I'm not going to say the moment was too bright for him because that would be a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because the moment definitely wasn't too bright for him. But I just think that you just saw a young leader that just made a bad call. That's all it come down to. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like D and AC was saying, like just burying them. You know what I mean? He didn't play to win, bro. Like he kind of just, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the saying that you guys just use. And I think that's the perfect thing because I think we fell right into that trap, man. And if you, like you said, you play against a team like Houston, that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to dig the grave. You got to put them in the grave. You got to put the dirt on them and plant the tombstone. All we did was dig the grave. We didn't do nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Houston
we didn't
had
do nothing else, bro. We just dug the grave. That's it, bro. And the motherfuckers hopped out that bitch like Undertaker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they came back. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Houston, bro. I'm definitely like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hate her. I give it up to Houston. I'm definitely proud of those guys for fighting the way they fought. But that was clearly Duke's game. Clearly, Duke was a better basketball team, top to bottom. Period. You know what I'm saying? I know it's tough for people to hear that, and I don't care what you think. Fuck you, really. Personally, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really care.
Tell him for me. Tell him for me.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny because I was talking to 2 players that played at North Carolina, right? And they said the same thing. They said, Pablo, you right. They said Duke is clearly better than Houston. Clearly, it was clear. You know what I'm saying? They said they were just waiting for the blowout. They knew it was going to happen. They were just waiting for the blowout. It just never came. You know what I'm saying? Pause. So it's like, you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, I just, like I said, I've moved on. It hurts like a motherfucker, it do. But, you know, I'm not going to be up here on this podcast and I ain't giving nobody no ammo. You know what I'm saying? I ain't giving nobody no ammo. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all the shooting here. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't like what I had to say. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
I mean, it's the only reason why anyone in the media and any other fan base, any other fan that's speaking on Duke right now, there's 2 fan bases that get to speak on Duke right now, Florida and Houston. That is it. Nobody else gets to speak on Duke because y'all weren't there. You either didn't make the tournament, you didn't make the second round, you didn't make the third round, you didn't make the Sweet 16, you didn't make the Elite 8. So shut the fuck up. Just be quiet and let the grown folks talk for a minute. But like you said, Duke was clearly better because otherwise you wouldn't be calling this an embarrassment. You wouldn't be saying this is embarrassment if Duke was not better. So you can't
have it both ways.
Right. So just shut up. Right. Like, just leave it at that. Houston only had 6 steals in the game. 3 of them were in the end of the game. Like, a team based around stealing the ball had three steals in this game against Duke until the end of the game. Like, damn, bro. Like TK said, it's a calamity of errors, man, is what led to this. So, and that's where it goes. But to stop a calamity of errors, it really takes a lot of focus and a lot of gumption to be able to stick with who you are. And like, this was not a back and forth game. This was not a we were up 2, then they were up 3, then we were up 2, then they were up 4, then we got back up 5, and now we're back up 1. It was not one of those games. We led the entire way. We got double digits at a crucial point in the game. I was talking with some friends I was with. It was like we were under 10. I was like, we get under 10, up double digits, like game over. Like, because that's what it's been all year. I have no reason to think it would be anything else. You know what I mean? Like,
but Houston struggles to score too, so that's another
They
reason why I
do,
was
and
like,
that's
if
why
we get over double digits, it's over. I
exactly.
felt the same
That's
fucking
why I
way.
felt
By the
like
way,
Yeah,
by the way,
Houston
this was
hasn't
the
scored
80th
70
time.
points in 34 games. Like, I don't. It's
that. Go
crazy.
ahead,
You
Jack.
saying, Jack?
This was the 80th time. This is the 80th time that Duke has taken a 10-point or more lead in a game John was the head coach for. It's the only time they've lost.
So you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, right?
Before
like, so,
that,
like,
they
you
were
don't.
70. They showed
Right.
it on the broadcast, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were 79-0
so.
in games they had double-digit lead
I think that's
under
wild.
John.
But yeah, but that again, that's as Duke fans, we all felt it. We just all sit here and say it. Like, under 10, double digits, game over, lights out. Should have been, and it wasn't. So like Pop said, hats off to Houston because they earned it. They came back, they won the game. So good on
Sure.
them. Just like Florida did the next night. They came back and won the game. Good on you. You earned it because, like we said, this was the greatest Final Four we've ever seen. So something should have and could have happened, and it did. So bottom line, game over. We lost. Move on next season.
So one thing real quick I will say too is where was the other coaches at, man? Like,
The assistants, you mean?
yeah, bro. Like, I mean, they're sitting there allowing John to
One's
make
in
these
Miami.
mistakes. Well,
one-
yeah. We know that,
that's
but I'm just
not-
saying though, like, I feel like
We've been without
that
him.
was the perfect scenario that somebody should have grabbed John up. Like, John, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do not need to be doing that right now because John is, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're all in the
He
game.
got tunnel vision.
Like, yeah,
He
like
did.
he's here. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we don't know what
That's
he
what
called
had.
either. We don't know
Right.
what he said on the sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
to Pops, I would say that, like, I don't know what he said on the sideline, obviously, but like to the
we're
same
gonna
point,
talk about that later.
Off
I don't
the
know,
record.
I don't know what he said on the sidelines, but I do know that AC brought this up at the beginning of the podcast. He got tight with his substitution patterns.
For sure.
Sion goes down with probably concussion. And he brings in Foster immediately, and Foster plays well, and then he takes Foster right out. Foster never comes back in. Foster actually played pretty well. And
He did play well.
And one of the things that I think with just Foster alone, but Big Pat, he showed, Conlon wasn't playing his best. You can blame for whatever reason, right? But Conlon wasn't playing his best. Big Pat's showing the ability to play well. So it comes down to that trust. You just all of a sudden lost your trust. You lost your trust in Isaiah. Maybe that's not the game for him. Okay, but you still have Foster. You still have Big Pat. You still have Mason Gillis. Like, you have other options if some things aren't going wrong for other players. And I think that's the tunnel vision that I saw. It's not just the calls. It's not trusting your guys. And that's where I think that, when I'm looking at this and blaming John for those last 10 minutes, that to me is more of what it is. Because that's a reflection of your team. Your team was tired. Your team was gassed.
You had a squad on the floor in the first half of 4 bench players in Con Nipple at one point in time, and they held a lead.
They were
and
kicking
actually grew a
Houston's
lead.
ass.
Yeah, and
They were
Pat Gongo
that line was a net positive.
Yeah, no, it was, and Pat still didn't have a rebound. Right? Like, Pat didn't have a rebound. Like, that's crazy to me that Pat and Kama had no rebounds this game. Nuts to me, bro. That's nuts. Like, that's wild to me. And so, that's not like okay, well, next year we need to get a bigger center. Like, how much bigger of a center do you want? Like, it's not the size of the team and everything else. It's like, where did the ball bounce? Who got where? Who was standing where they needed to be? Like, it's the bounce of the ball in a basketball game in a lot of cases, man. Like
Sure.
we didn't
Sure,
lose the
nah,
game
I
because of
definitely-
rebounding. We didn't lose the game because of roster construction. We didn't lose the game because all those things, all the things that people are trying to say that we lost the game because we lost the game. Like bottom line.
Yeah.
Nah, facts. That's a fact. And
Effort,
like
man.
TK was
Which one of
saying,
y'all said we didn't see anybody diving on the floor for a ball?
That's what I was saying. Like you
Yeah,
didn't have one of
that
those
effort.
moments.
Effort. Like there
Yeah.
was multiple times where
They coasted.
I saw Duke players just bending over at the waist trying to
Yeah.
pick a ball up. And
how many
Houston
offensive
players just
rebounds did
diving.
Houston have?
18.
Too many.
18,
Too
19?
goddamn many, Pablo.
18.
Too motherfucking
18.
many.
Yeah.
And there's one
And
possession in the
that,
second half.
and hold on, that was one of the keys to the game, right? We cannot allow these dudes to get offensive
Yes.
rebounds. That's what they want.
And one of those
Yeah.
possessions late in that second half, they got 3 of them. And
So, like,
That shit crazy, bro.
like AC said, we didn't see
Absolutely
anybody
insane.
diving on the floor. Like we saw none of that. No slapping at the ball, like nothing. We were
Yeah.
bending over at the
So-
waist, picking it up like it was a bag of groceries. Like this.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
Like
fact.
that's
So-
Honestly,
effort.
D,
That's
get your
effort.
get back on this, D, because I know I gave it to you. The
Yeah,
fans
you've
in the
been saying
comments
that
gave it
for a
to you
while.
about the offensive rebound thing. After what game was it? We won a game. Everybody's like, "Why aren't you celebrating the team?"
That was the
Carolina.
Baylor game.
You were
It was the-
you were celebrating the
Baylor
team, but
game
you were
he was
also
talking about.
saying it was way before Bama. It was I want to say it was when we
It
won
was
the
Baylor.
ACC championship.
It was Baylor.
It was
Baylor? Okay,
Carolina.
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was Carolina.
He's been saying it since Carolina Part 3.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
It's
thought
one of those
Carolina
games.
was
that-
Always.
Not diving for
But
the
either
ball.
way,
Like
I just want D to get his get back because everybody was like, "Why are you not chilling?" And D was
You
like, "This is
deserve
the
it, D.
thing that could hurt us. If this happens again, it could hurt us." So you said that shit, bro.
it's
You deserve your
people get
flowers.
consistent in winning, and like it again. If you lack effort for 1 second against these types of teams, man, you're gonna get cooked. They're gonna kick you right in the teeth. And if you're bending over at I'm coaching my kids' summer league basketball team right now, and I told a kid I was like, dude, you can't bend over at the waist to get a ball. You got to get down. You got to die for that shit. Like you got to get on the floor, slap it around. You can't. No easy possessions. Nothing easy. And like at that 6-minute mark in the second half, when people were just bending over at the waist. Yeah, we probably should have put some subs in, some healthy legs, some fresh feet, but we didn't have any hustle plays. Like we lacked effort, we lacked hustle, we lacked heart in the last 6 minutes of that game. And it's a 40-minute game, not a 36-minute game, and that's all I got to say, man. And I'll be done bitching about it.
Yeah, no, that like TK was saying, that tunnel vision, man, it was definitely there. It was definitely there. Man, but it's like, and this here's where I will say I don't really like fault John Shire, right? Because I do think that in times like that, you need somebody to wake you up. You definitely do, because it's just like, I'm saying, just like being in the army, bro. Like if we do a certain thing, when all the chaos start happening, we gonna do what we train to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep doing that same fucking thing. We're gonna go right back to that same shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do. I've seen it happen too many times, man. If you don't have somebody to take you by the collar, like, listen, we're not doing that anymore. We need to do something different. They are doing something different. They are attacking us. They're flanking us. But I'm used to, fighting through a flank a certain way, right? This is Army talk right now, right? We're going to keep it like that, right? I'm used to fighting through that a certain type of way, right? If I don't have somebody to say, Pablo, I know this is what we do, in training, but they are doing something different now. We need to adjust. You don't have nobody to wake your ass up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be dead in the water, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just, something they really need to think about, man. There need to be somebody on that staff. And I'm sure that, I know they all got great relationships, right? But somebody on that staff needs to step up, and they know when to kick John in his ass. You know what I'm saying? And tell him, John, no, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we respect the fuck out of you. You're the head coach, bro. And if that's what you want to do, we riding with you. But I'm here to tell you, from a coaching standpoint, we probably shouldn't do that right now. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody like that for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Coach Cal had fucking Antigua with him forever. You know what I'm saying? To do that. You know what I'm saying? Bruiser Flint. You know what I mean? I don't know who did that with Coach K. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But like you need.
Well, when
that,
he was
bro.
younger, it was Mike Bray. That's why Mike Bray got jobs so early. Mike Bray was that guy for him. Coach K even talked about that. He talked about that in one of the one of the documentaries they did with the old teams, Coach K talked about how integral Mike Bray was in helping keeping him, because he was a young coach at that point in time too, and keeping him grounded and helping him through some of those tough times of he wanted to do a certain thing, but that wasn't going to work. It happens to everybody, man. Like these coaches are not infallible, and
For sure.
they need
sure.
help. They need that's why they have a staff in the whole fucking first place. So
Definitely. That's why I'm kind of interested in seeing like who we're gonna fill these positions with on the staff. I'm thinking that he might go a little older. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not.
So.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
so.
you know, I just hope it's somebody that can, you know what I'm saying, say, hey, John, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I respect the fuck out of you. You are the head coach. There's no doubt about that. I just think that I just really strongly believe that we shouldn't be doing this right now. Let's change this up. You know what I'm saying? Because they've adjusted. We need to adjust.
I also think that Coach K will be a part of this job shirt for the assistant coach, associate head
coach. K, he can bring his ass back and motherfucking be the assistant.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like I think
I feel you on that.
Yeah, he probably will be.
I totally feel that though, D. I pause. That's a pause, by the way. Yeah, no, I totally understand that, bro. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, he's still on campus, right? He's still got his office. I am sure that he's involved in some of these decisions in a certain way, whether it's just John calling him saying, hey, coach, what do you think about? Or
that's what I was going to say.
Or the president of the university goes to K, before I stroke this check, is this guy worth it?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I don't think it's going to be Coach K's decision, but I think John's going to be like, hey, I've been looking at this dude. I've been talking to this dude. I like, X, Y, and Z. He, what he does here, there, or wherever. And he's going to ask his opinion because that's why he's there. Right? He's
it would be awesome,
or whatever his title is.
Yeah.
So why would
we get an assistant that has head coaching experience? It would be that'd be awesome. Whether we get it or not, and whether they're worth it or not, I don't know, because there are other elements to it other than just sitting on the bench. But
I think
if there's somebody out there fits that bill, then
older dude.
Yeah, cool, whatever.
Shit, is Quinn Snyder coaching right now?
Mm-hmm.
He's the head coach of the Hawks.
Mm-hmm. He ain't come back to college.
Yeah, he'd be perfect.
Edward Scissorhands ain't coming back to college.
Yeah.
Maybe I can bring Amico back to be the associate since he turned down the head coach. All right.
Jeez.
Anyway, so moving on. We want to end this podcast on somewhat of a high note. So we're going to go through a quick list of superlatives for the season. And I guess we'll do the easiest one first. Most valuable player. Is there anybody here that disagrees that it was Spencer Hubbard?
Nope.
Because Spencer's undefeated when he gets in the lineup. So
that's true.
Yeah, if he was 6'6", it was a wrap.
Facts.
If Spence was 6'6", he'd be an All-American.
Easily.
He'd be a first-round draft pick, number 1.
But yeah, obviously Cooper Flagg. I mean, one of the reasons that he's so disappointing is that he's on a generational pops. He's a generational player.
I was thinking about that the other day, man, and man, I'm almost there, man. I started changing my tune on this. I said this.
Run the music,
good, man.
Run the fucking music.
Said this motherfucker's good, man. Like he just might, like, seriously, bro. He just might be there, bro. Like the shit that he do, bro, and the shit that he did this year, bro. I was like, I'm just saying, like, I didn't see all that shit in high school. You know, like I saw him a lot in high school. Obviously, he wasn't doing all that shit in high school, but it's a different game too. You know what I'm saying? He was a little younger. He was, he was a different player. You know what I'm saying? He came to college, bro, and this guy just went ape shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So fuck it. I'm on the generational talent train, bro. Fuck it.
Yeah, he's most valuable player, but we might as well call him most generational. All right, so offensive player of the year. We'll go around the horn. Pops, offensive player of the year.
So I'm gonna say Khan, and I'm gonna say Khan is the MVP.
I agree.
But I said, and it's funny, right? Like, real quick explanation, right? From what I'm saying, right? Is I think that Khan was so important for Cooper, and Cooper was so important for Khan that they fucking just they gelled so well, man, that they complemented each other in the best way, man. It brought out their strengths. You know what I'm saying? They both were so good together that you couldn't double team either. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to worry about the other guy. You know what I mean? So I think that they helped each other out in that aspect so much, man, that, you know, like one award should go to, you know, to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, you know what I mean? That's just how I feel, man. I think Khan was really, really good for this team, man. He brought a certain continuity to this, like from offensive standpoint to this team that's just insane, bro. You know, playmaking, shooting, and everything that he did. You know what I mean? He complimented Cooper so well, and he got him a lot of his shit. You know what I'm saying? And Cooper got Khan a lot of his shit. So, I mean, they just, you know, did their thing, man. That's how I feel. Give me Khan, bro.
Okay, D.
Offensive player of the year. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. And this is a guy that I said would never play this year. He's just not ready. Wait till next year. Like, we're going to talk about points per minute scored. Like, offensive player of the year. You already know what I'm going to say. Give me Slim. Like, you're telling me this dude is scoring 10
I'm
points
shocked
every
that it's
six,
you saying this.
every 6 minutes. I mean, no, y'all know I'll admit when I'm wrong. Give me offensive player of the year,
Yeah,
averaging
you
10
did.
points per 6 minutes. Give it to him. Give me him for offensive player of the year because he shocked people. And especially towards the end of the season where he was dunking on folks when I was like begging him, hey, you've got a bigger package than just pause. You can just shooting the three.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
good. You can do more than just shoot the three, dog. Take it to the rack. You know what I'm saying? His defense got better and better and better and better every game, and it impressed me. I was a little disappointed that he didn't play more against Houston, but I think that goes back to a young head coach, and you stick with what you believe in. But offensive player of the year, yeah, 10 points per 6 minutes. Yeah, give me Isaiah Evans every day.
AC.
I would be boring and go Coop. I'm not gonna explain too much. For me, it's Cooper Flag. I think how well he played on the offensive end this year. I think in the preseason we were like, if he scores anywhere between 14 and 17 points a game, that'll be a miracle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't say miracle, but I'm hot taking there. But we did say that would be a surprise if it was any more than that because of the balance of this team. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Don't need to go any further. I'm going Cooper Flag. He far exceeded any expectation offensively that anyone on the planet had. I don't care what anybody tries to say. They can try to say, oh, he's a 5-star number one player. He's supposed to do that. Shut up. You didn't have this. You didn't have this either. So I'm going Coop.
Yeah, I'll keep it real quick. I'm going Coop as well. The only thing I'll add to that is just how much better he got after the Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody talks about getting in the gym.
Well, he and Corey Alexander went and shot buckets or whatever.
Corey Alexander, of course. But once he became a lethal 3-point shooter, and he just
friend of the family, Corey Alexander.
Right, friend of the family, friend of the pod. He was launching this podcast back in 3rd grade, so
yeah.
But yeah, Ace Cooper for me, I think it's pretty easy. He scores at every level you want to score, and miss me with the not clutch shit. Just miss me with it. Jack, round this one out. Jack.
Coop and Khan co-players. I think Coop far exceeded my expectations offensively, and Khan, I think just as a player exceeded everyone's. Like, if you asked anyone in like July of last year, what do you expect Khan Knippel to do this year? They would say 7 points, maybe. People did not have expectations for Khan until late in the summer. Unless you ask Sam, shout out Sam. Yeah. Sam knew, and Sam was trying to tell us.
He knew, yeah.
So he tried to tell us, and we didn't listen until it was too late. But Khan and Cooper both far exceeded my expectations from July of last year in their scoring. They are both going to be top 7 to 10 picks in the draft, and they were the keys to Duke's offense this year. So they get the award from me.
Yeah, you heard Kenny Smith. Cooper Flag might be a lottery pick this year, according to Kenny Smith. So
Kenny
Smith can take so many laps around this earth that I can't count.
He can't take laps with those knees, bro. He's gonna run in the circle where he stands.
Can't wait.
All right, Jack, I'm gonna keep it here with you, and we'll go around the other way. Defensive player of the year.
I could get complicated. I'm just going to Cooper. Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag was the key to the defense. He will destroy anyone. It's easily Cooper.
Yeah, for me, it's Coop. Obviously, if Malik's healthy all year, I think we're having a different conversation, but he wasn't. So for me, it's Coop. AC?
Yeah, I was gonna say availability is a part of it, and that's the only reason why I can't go with Malik. I gotta go with Coop.
Yeah.
D?
What AC said.
Yep. Pops, you got anything different?
Defensive player of the year. Either Common or Coop, for sure.
All right. Easy enough. Most improved player of the year, I guess. I don't really know how we do this one because you only have like 2 options, right? So,
Not necessarily. I think there's a lot of ways you can go this way.
okay, that's fair.
This is Proctor, and it's not
yeah,
even.
It's Proctor. Yep.
I'm
So
looking at
okay,
it.
let's look at it. All right. Well, you want to look at it from last year? Or do you want to look at it from
I'm
the
gonna.
start of the season to the
start
end of the
to
season? Is
end?
kind of how I'm.
Proctor and Proctor.
Okay, that's fair. I'm doing it
You
from.
can still go
I'm
Tyrese for
doing it
sure.
from
By the way.
yeah, I'm doing it from last year. So
Okay.
you know, that's the way I look at it. Just especially the way his season ended last year. And I know people are going to say, you know, about the way the season ended for him this year, but we don't get to the Final Four without Tyrese Proctor, and he was on fire during the entire tournament. And that's why it makes it even more disappointing. But you know, the guy he lit it up in the ACC championship. He was phenomenal in the entire tournament until that Final Four, and he wasn't even terrible. He just didn't have his best shooting. But the way he led this year, this team, there's just so many things I have to say about Tyrese Proctor, and I hope people realize how good he actually was for this team. So for me, it's Tyrese Proctor, but AC, yeah, give a different take on what.
I'm
what
going
you saw.
Pat Ngangwa from start of season to end of season. I'm going Big Pat. I'm going from a player that was talked about being redshirted very heavily, talked about being redshirted because of injury, to okay, he's not going to redshirt, but good luck getting him any minutes this year because of conditioning, to this motherfucker's on the court, like truly making a big difference with this team. Like,
No, real shit.
I got to go with Pat on that, man. I do.
Yeah, I think that's really fair, and I know I'm the one to say there's no way that they're going to play him this year. But he's a guy, you know what? They took advantage of the minutes that were afforded to him. You know, when Malik goes down, or you know, they called on him, and he said, you know, to the coaches, you can't sit in now. So he did phenomenal. Pops, you got anything different for most improved player of the year than Proctor or Big Pat?
I say let me go with Slim or Big Pat. I mean, I only say Slim because of, you know what I'm saying, adversity he had to go through. I mean, they all went through their fair share of adversity, you know what I'm saying, Big Pat and everybody, but you know what I mean, like Isaiah, from not playing at all to playing just a little bit to winning the game for us against the number one team in the nation, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, minutes being scaled back a little bit, and you know what I mean, like, so I mean, I definitely would say him for sure.
Shouts to Caleb Foster for completely then the season
Facts.
dropping down to a level where he can improve again to try to get this prestigious award from us. We didn't give it to him, but he tried to get it from us. And honestly, I think you could make a non-hot takey case for Cooper Flag with this too, because of the way he shot the ball halfway through the season.
I thought about it,
and the way he became a distributor for this team. Like you said, I mean, TK, you brought up the turning point in December. It was like he didn't become a completely different player. He just really expounded on everything he was already showing he was good at, and just destroyed it.
I have a couple other entries for most improved.
Sure.
I said Tyrese at the beginning. I was just talking about from last year to this year, looking at the guys who, I mean, if you want to talk about that, Sion also could be in the conversation. I'm not going to say him, but
sure.
So yeah, it's from last year to this year. It's Tyrese. Over the course of this season, is definitely Pat. But also, I want to shout out Stanley Borden, who went from not playing for 2 consecutive seasons to getting minutes. I'm not even joking. Stanley earned those minutes, and you know he may never have put the ball in the hoop, but the fact that he's getting play after only playing 1 minute his entire career, getting to like check into multiple games this year, he has to have improved in some way or another in practice.
Could also give it to
Most
Neil,
definitely.
just for his locker room interviews. I mean, that was fire.
Oh,
Like,
Neil on the
Oh,
mic was
Neil's
great.
awesome.
I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not even
Neil's
joking.
great.
Like, he was actually fantastic.
Shout out
And I
Bego.
hope that he gets into broadcasting or something like that because it was
Mhm.
great. Most valuable bench player.
I honestly think he's going to stick around the program.
That's what I mean. I could definitely
That'd
see
be
him
cool.
doing that. But
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
most valuable bench player, AC.
Slim. I'm going Slim. I think earlier in the season you could say it was Malik or Mason. I want to say I want to say Slim because I think it was a mistake to bury him on the bench the way we did throughout the whole entire tournament. I'm not there for practices. I'm not there for stuff off the floor, whatever. I am not insinuating, by the way, anything happened off the floor. I'm just saying I'm not there. I can only look at it from a basketball standpoint. And from a basketball standpoint, he was so important to us throughout ACC tournament and lead the games leading up to that. And then to just all of a sudden just be like, nah, he can't get but 4 minutes a game in the tournament was wild to me. But I thought he was the most valuable bench player because of what he brought us on offense off the bench. I think Malik would be up there with him for me just because of what he does defensively and passing the ball.
Jack.
If Malik had been healthy all season, it would be him. It's Slim. Slim won Duke multiple games off the bench. He worked his way from the last man in the rotation, like the last man on the bench who gets minutes into a starting spot in a couple of games due to some injuries. And then just, he went from being a DNP the first few meaningful games of the season to having a legitimate role on the team the whole way in March, and that's valuable. And again, I would love for it to have been Malik because that means he would have been healthy all season, but he wasn't. So I don't think he can be the most valuable bench player.
Yeah.
Pops, what do you got?
Most valuable bench player? Shit. I mean, that's definitely Slim, bro. I mean, Slim or Malik. For sure. And it's tough because it's like, did they play enough to really garner that? You know what I'm saying? Like they played enough that we know what they could do, but to actually, you know what I'm saying, get the prestigious 5-point play, you know what I'm saying, bench player of the year award. I don't know if they logged enough minutes at those, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
one because of injury and the other one was just because of pure just not playing
Right.
for whatever reason. I don't know, man. I might have to hold on to this award this year, man. It's really close to my heart. You know what I'm saying?
So it's the Pablo Kong Award now?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick a guy yet, man. We're gonna have to see about this next year, you know what I'm saying, when these guys come back. But they'll probably be starting, so we'll see.
Yeah, AC, I think, and Jack, I think it's definitely Slim, but for the same reasons that you brought up for most improved with Pat, I can make an argument for him as the most valuable bench player, especially when Malik did go, out with his injury, and the way that he stepped up and in a way that I didn't think that he was capable of because of the injury you talked about in high school, and the fact that we thought he was going to redshirt. So the impact that he had, and that puts us into our next one. The most impactful player.
Wait,
D, by the way, had
before we
Malik
do
Brown.
that, I just want to say D had to go. Yeah, he had Malik. He had to go, but he had Malik.
Okay, good to know. But yeah, so into the most impactful, I think this one is going to take a little bit of time because how do you? Everybody may measure the impact of a player's whether it's performance on the court or in the locker room or whatever. There's a lot of different ways to view most impactful. And I'm going back to Tyrese Proctor. I am. I think the way that he, from the end of last year, that he was one of two guys that said, Coach, I'm with you. Whatever it takes. I don't want anything given to me. He was starting every single game this year. He played his best basketball of his career at Duke. He knows what Duke means. He's ride or die with John. He's a guy that took the leadership role, even though they didn't even name captains. He's a guy that, he could go through a game, and score 6 points, or he could score 20. And he did whatever the game asked of him, whatever the team asked of him. If you asked any player what they thought about Tyrese, especially Cooper Flay, that was their guy. And so for me, from that standpoint, is Mormon just on the court, but he was special on the court. For me, is Tyrese Proctor. Jack, what do you got?
I'm gonna do a most impactful player award, and I'm gonna give it to the 2 grad transfers who got a bunch of playing time. That would be Sion and Mason, because Sion, after he moved in the starting lineup, Duke lost 2 games. Duke went, what was it, like 30? It was either 28, 29, or 30-2 with Sion in the starting lineup. And he made ACC all defense. I would look at the stat sheet in the middle of a game sometimes and be like, oh, Sion has 5 assists. He would hit a lot of very timely threes, and he's just a dog. He would find his way into the dunker spot on plays. He would just and catch the ball, throw it down. He seems to just do everything right, and that was awesome. Gillis, very much a calming, steadying presence. Once the shots started to fall, it continued to fall. He played tough defense. He's just a tough guy, a good leader, and really one of those guys that you have him on the roster because of his experience in the tournament, and he really helped out the younger guys with that. And I think those 2 coming in with their experience, just super impactful. Like Sion James is going to be playing probably in the NBA next year because of the impact he had on Duke this year.
All right, AC.
I'm going Common. I think one of the common factors throughout the season and our losses was the lack of Kama Malawach. From Kentucky when he got hurt, to Kansas when he was essentially non-existent, to Clemson when he was essentially non-existent, to obviously Houston where he was non-existent, and for whatever reasons why he was non-existent in any of those games, whether it was youth, game planning, or whatever else, that was the one player we had on the floor that no one else could mimic in practice and in game. And to me, that was so important to have him in a season where, if Coop Kyrie Irving, I think we could have figured it out and had a team that would have still fought their way towards a Final Four. I really do. We saw what we did without him in the ACC tournament. Not saying that's a small sample size, not saying that all games would have been like that, but the ACC was down enough, and in the tournament they would have found enough of a groove, I think, without Coop to be able to make some things work. If you didn't have Concanipple, I think Cooper Flagg and some of the other guys could have made up the difference. Losing Kaman and losing what he does on the floor, I don't think we had anything that could make up that difference for him. I think Pat got close to doing it in a lot of cases, but he was just the animal that dude is. When he's on, he is on, and he is so good, and he is just so devastating to the other team. And when he's off, it really hurt our team a lot, man. So, in my opinion, he's got to get most impactful because of that.
All right, Pops, close this one out. Most impactful player for you.
That goes back to probably like my first statement. I mean, it's either going to be Cooper or Khan, just because, they both made everybody better, not just each other. You know what I'm saying? I know I talked about them making each other better, but I just think that overall their impact and imprint they had on every single game, man, was just so tremendous that, you got to go with one of those guys, man. I mean, they made the whole team better. You know what I'm saying? They raised the play for everybody. So, yeah, one of those guys, man. I ain't going to keep it too long. Pause.
All right, so we got a fun one to end this thing. AC player you'd like to get into a bar fight with?
Not get into a bar fight. Take into a bar fight with you.
Sorry.
Because if I'm getting into a bar fight with anybody, I think Spence gonna bite you in the ankles like a Wolverine, man. I'm going after Stanley. He's gonna be playing the saxophone in the corner. I'm going after him. You know what I mean? Like
crazy.
But I'll start off with what D said. D had Big Pat. I know the reasons why he had Big Pat. I'm gonna go with. I think I'm going with Mason Gillis. I think he's got a little bit of he's got that silent killer in him. I'm taking Mace. He doesn't seem to like to give up easily. I'm going with Mace. He went to Purdue too, so he drinks fucking Miller Lite. He's from Indiana.
He got that curl activator in his hair.
He just drinks that Miller Lite and just gets loose. I'm going Mace.
Bob, who do you got?
Give me my brother Kaman, man. He from South Sudan, bro. They're not playing over there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He's seen some things.
They seen some shit over there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's like machete straight to the dome type shit. You know what I'm saying? Pause. So it's like, give me Kaman all day, my African
I'm
brother.
gonna be like, oh, we just fighting? That's what he was his
Hell yeah,
accent. You know what I
bro.
mean?
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Give me Kaman all day, baby.
Jack, what do you got?
I'm gonna say it's the same two as my last answer, which is Sion and Mason. Sion is built like Ray Lewis, and he's 6'6". Gillis is just the same type of thing. He is, I mean, everything AC said with Sion or with Mason, excuse me, rings true. Plus, he's just a dog. He plays tough on the court. I'm sure he'd be the same.
See, Jack is smart. Like this says player. Jack's like, nah, I'm taking two. Like Jack's smart. He's the only smart one in here so far.
Good point. All right, so I'll finish this one out. I'm taking Neil, and the reason being is because he can just talk himself out of any situation, and so I feel like I'm not going to have to throw any hands
Totally.
because
There you go.
wait, fellas, Neil, come over here, explain the situation to him, and then they'll probably at the end of it they'll probably start ordering us around to drinks because he's talked them into the fact that they were in the wrong. So I'm taking Neil.
like
Hope that was a little fun for everybody. At
I
the
don't
end
know.
of the
You ever
day,
seen One Tree Hill? Nathan Scott gets into some stuff, dude.
that's the point.
The one we hold Neil Vegas was hilarious, by the way.
But but anyway, just
That's
a
who
little
Neil
levity,
is.
little levity to end this one. It's been a phenomenal season. We want to thank all of our listeners, even the haters, any of the commenters, anybody that subscribed to this year. We appreciate it. We can't do this without you guys. So we'll be back. We'll be back all off season. We got a lot of stuff planned. AC, close this one out.
Yeah, no, thank y'all for. Hey, look, by the way, throw the stuff up on the screen. My bad. I need to be up here giving you all the stuff where you can find us. First and foremost, thank y'all. It's been a long season, been a great season. I think we did the most episodes in a season than we've ever done. So I love that. It's thanks to you guys that we keep running this podcast and keep it going. And we're gonna keep it going because you guys are out there. You're engaging with us. You're talking to us, including the haters, including y'all. You give us views, so thank you. Continue to do so because I know y'all gonna hate on this one for sure. Anytime Duke loses, we have the most viewers we have, so of course it's gonna go up. But I appreciate
2K
y'all.
on this one at
Thank
least.
you. Yep. Appreciate you. And like TK said, summer content all year, and then we'll be back again next year doing the same thing we do now, but better always. Let's go, Duke.
Let's go, Duke.
Go Duke.